Good morning and welcome to Enterprise Friday on Enterprise TV. We've got an amazing newspaper headlines lined up for you today, packed with the latest news and trending topics to start your weekend right off. It's going to be a fantastic morning and we are thrilled to share it with you. But before we get to that, you have an opportunity to join our community by following us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7 and visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. I am Choma Okohe.
And I am Henry Ikwebike.
Let's get started. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm great.
All right, of course, in the studios, we'd also do justice to all we have for our newspaper headlines is no other but Cyril Abaku, a journalist and a public affairs commentator. Good morning, Cyril.
Hi.
And welcome.
Thank you.
All right. So we kick off our newspaper headlines today with the first daily on the Daily Independent. And the big story here says, we've identified sponsors of planned nationwide protest, the DSS, and we have a couple of riders here. No to protest that leads to destruction of lives, property, and that's coming from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Military intelligence and research, it may lead to anarchy, DMO directors, and a couple of other riders.
Okay, moving on the top strip, you find federal government decision to float Naira reason for economic hardship that is coming from the TUC.
And also below that particular story, the Igbo community mourn the death of Emmanuel Iwanya, one of course Tinubu Mba Soludo, and the whole Ohaneze Igbo mourn their leader Emmanuel Iwanya.
Now on the top strip, SJF says federal government spent 51.5 billion naira to protect oil installation in 4 years.
In 4 years.
Yes, right. And that is one big story there. And let me start with you, Cyril Abaku. Now, this is one thing that a lot of Nigerians are beginning to think, how will you spend 15 points, how many billion in 4 years?
$1.5 billion.
Yeah. Yes, and now they spend in 4 years to protect oil installation. And the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dr. Tao Jinabaz, has revealed that the country lost over $10 billion within the last 7 months. Now, you're spending 1.5 billion to protect oil installation, and you now lost $10 billion in the last 7 months. Please, how can you correlate this?
Just hold on. I want to bring something out here, which I sort of armed myself with while I was coming for this conversation. There is, there was the 90 report, the Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative. They were the ones that said we had that over $46 billion worth of crude oil was stolen between 2009 and 2020. 2009 to 2020 is how many years? 9 minus 20 is 11 years. Right here. So in 11 years, we lost $46 billion. In the past 7 months alone, we've lost $10 billion. So the thieves, if thieves they are, they've grown bolder, they've grown more confident, they've grown maturer. I don't believe they're thieves. And if you want me, I can come to that. But we couldn't have lost $10 billion in 7 months. And it is business as usual. Which means under President Bola Tinubu alone, we've stolen, if they continue like this under Tinubu, there will be no oil left in Nigeria. Because he took the governments of Yaradua, Jonathan, and Buhari for them to steal $46 billion. But under Tinubu, in less than a year, they've taken 10. So just calculate that by 4 or 8 years and imagine what you're going to get.
So, Labaku, what is the Trojan horse here? Please talk to us. Talk to us.
No. So 2 years ago, I think it was Tony Lumelu who screamed and said 98% of all the oil being produced in Bonny also was being stolen. He screamed out loud. Because I think he was beginning to invest in that sector. So he now saw that this thing was a drain pipe. And what I can tell is that there are no oil thieves. Henry, it's simple logic.
Now, sorry, before you continue, why did you say there are no oil thieves?
No,
there are no oil thieves. Okay, please help them.
We call it oil theft, but it's not. But there are no oil thieves. And I can explain very, very simply. If you own a factory and the manager comes and says, we produce 103 were stolen, you can understand that it's theft. You can tell him, investigate who came in there, who didn't come in there. But that manager is telling you that if after everything he produced, 99 were stolen. Should he be looking for thieves, or should arrest that manager and make him explain how on his watch 99% of everything produced was stolen? It's not. I think it's diversion. It's not theft. This is state theft. This is the government that is the thief. The government itself is the thief.
So what you're saying invariably is it's possible that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is aware of all of this.
It's not even a matter of awareness. He himself should have questions to answer. As substantive minister, he has questions to answer. The Minister of State has questions to answer. The security agents have questions to answer. We have been here before when Tom Polo and the Navy had a standoff. And I said, Tom Polo, for all you care, is a private security agent that was merely contracted. He is an ex-militant. They contracted him. The Navy is known to Nigerian law as the primary custodian of our waterways and territorial integrity in the maritime sector. How can Tantita and the Navy be doing, you said, I said, now you not be me, now you be thief and not be thief? What is the meaning of that?
Now, at this point, is it wrong to ask, the oil thieves in Nigeria, are they now seeing Dangote Refinery as something that is going to stand as a hindrance to them? No,
but of course it is the display. We've said it here. Look, let me the oil thieves are the ones we have appointed to supervise the industry.
Sure, yeah, true.
The oil thieves, no, it's true. The oil thieves themselves are the ones we've appointed to be the managers and gatekeepers of the oil. That's why this amount of theft will take place. How much more shock do you want to endure when we have that a vessel came to Nigeria to berth, that it was oil theft. That vessel was as big as 3 villages in Nigeria put together. It was there for 3 months. Defense intelligence didn't pick it. DSS didn't pick it. Police didn't pick it. Army didn't pick it. Navy didn't pick it. Air Force didn't pick it. NSCDC didn't pick it. Nobody picked it. It was when the vessel had drunk to its belly full and was on his way out. By the way, can I tell you that every vessel you see on high waters is registered and electronically monitored globally? That's how they check piracy. So that vessel was moving. People knew it was moving. Was not reported. They started hearing the government didn't know. When it moved to Equatorial Guinea, then they spotted it there. Then they now made a call to Nigeria. Nigeria is a shame. They spotted a vessel in Delta State that had been stealing oil for 20 years or so. Henry, when they got to that, what did they do?
They blew it up.
They blew it up. That was the order they were given from defense headquarters. Is that even logical?
All right, so what
they caught in Ondo, they blew it up too. Destroying the vessel, destroying its content, which we don't even know fully.
And of course, they destroy the evidence.
Yeah, the evidence and then the flora and fauna and fauna. So it means the government is complicit.
All right,
so that goes against the kind of basic crime criminal procedure. I mean, if police, that is the primary agency for domestic security, you know what they do? They are trained to, even when they shoot, it is to maim. It is to make so that they can bring the person in for prosecution. When you arrest a thief, you can find out who sponsored you. So that helps to guard, but their own is just finish it off there because they want to hide the evidence. Is it not because you have sent the thief to go and destroy it to arrest himself? Will arrest himself?
All right, so while we dwell on that, still on the Delhi Independent newspaper, I'd love you to maybe take on this particular story in 60 seconds, if you may. Aircraft wet leasing dragging down Nigeria's aviation. That's coming from the minister, Keyamo. Now, for those who understand wet leasing, it means that a particular company gets an aircraft, right, with all the maintenance team from the company, from the country, and bring it to a country, and they use that while paying whatever it is to the company. Now, we understand in less than 4 years, the number of aircraft in Nigeria slowed from 100, and right now we only have 40. And I guess that's the reason we have escalating amounts for travel right now. Do you think Keyamo coming to say that wet leasing is dragging the aviation down is informative?
You know, what we need to do is to check Mr. Keyamo very well, because we've seen this pattern in our country over and over. He was the one who said the other day that they were using private aircraft for illegal drug trafficking and money laundering. What has come out of it? It's not information minister. They should not be telling us. It's not enough to come and tell us, say the things we want to hear. In 1 year, what is his own scorecard? What has he really achieved? What has he done? Can he sincerely say that he has the teeth to go after these giants in the sector and decimate them, bring them down, and then give the sector a new lease of life?
But do you think there's anything wrong in wet leasing?
See the point. The wet lease, you see, as a company, as a firm, if you have to you go and bring them to come and so that you be paying them.
Yes, exactly.
You be paying them. Where is that money going to?
But you don't have, of course, we understand it's a capital intensive business. In fact, if you order for a plane now from Boeing, for example, it takes between 4 years to get it delivered to you, a brand new one. So how do you think companies can survive without well leasing?
How many of these companies are using brand new planes? The average aircraft, the older it gets, the better. They don't use new. I don't want to mention the name of one I used from Abuja to Lagos. You barely have leg room. Another that was meant to carry fish and carry human beings. You know what I mean? Now the point is, they say the longer the aircraft is in whatever in use, the better. So they mostly float and go and buy second-hand. We understand it's okay, but the point is this: how many airlines around the world are doing wet leasing? Because ultimately, you're not helping to grow human capital in Nigeria. We should be the ones in our own airplane engineers. You see, I'm going our own airplane engineers, our aviation fuel, our technology. It means we will virtually just be users and never were able to add to the value chain. That's what, and frankly speaking, no government can sit down and have a national agenda in aviation that does not cover national self-sufficiency. To be able to, so, but it means you can't compete globally. And that's why if you go KLM, Lufthansa and all these countries, and the airline companies are just the ambassadors. The real business is the industries where they can carry out research and so on. How many Nigerian universities are teaching, can train a pilot? Although they will tell that they are specialized where to train pilot aviation, but how many are there in Nigeria?
Exactly.
That if in America and all these places, you can go, take the course, graduate and come back. In Nigeria, won't you have to yes, but the minister, it's not enough to say these grand things. What can we achieve in 4 years? That for me, that's a real question.
Well, of course,
yes. But what can we achieve? Practical achieve in 4 years. That is the real issue.
Of course.
If you went to the international wing, you won't believe how that place is still now. You won't believe it.
It's a slum, actually.
Thank you.
It's a slum, actually.
You won't believe it.
Yeah. All right, so this is just about it. So usually when you board a plane and you see Chinese hostesses and you see white pilot, it obviously means that particular plane is wet leased, and that's basically what it means. Well, let's move on to the Guardian newspaper today. And what do we have, Choma?
Yeah, the big story here: regions, citizens languish amid proliferation of political SPVs.
Yes, that's the Development Commission without development. Yes. And also on the bottom strip of the same newspaper, a planned protest the military wants against the violence as DSS reveals the plot to cause chaos. Okay,
moving on. TUC insists on May 1, 2024 date for new minimum wage.
All right, you.
It's a good one. The TUC is the minimum wage. Not be their fault.
Okay, it should come. It should start from May.
It's not their fault. In fact, it should be back to last year's from some. Yes, no. It's not. Is it their fault that the government dragged the discussion till now?
Seriously, it's like you want the federal government, you want the National Assembly to up the budget again. It's at 5 trillion.
See, we only have a security vote. There are other votes too. There's what they call service-wide vote. That's why they pay for my heads of state from. Then is curiously speaking, do you know what that vote is used for? Anything where we want to do, where we know say we go do, is free. Yes, so it's a what, like
a stipend or something.
Like say, Mr. Linus. Well, that will not be enough to do the job. But it is not for government, it is not for labor to do the thinking. Has anybody probed what that whole money those trillions that they will not voted? Has anybody bothered to check how many work? You know what government should do? We will pay you from May 1. Even if it means paying the backlog sometime later in the year. But we are going to adopt a very good verification system so that those workers won't be paid.
Oh, okay.
We should have these conversations. It's not the problem. We can pay from May 1. But how many workers are really the workers on the payroll?
On the payroll.
The other time when Minister Idris, the former Minister of Digital Economy under Buhari, we were fighting with ASU. ASU told him, we're not your problem. Even these IPs that you created, it's not as good as what we can give you. They now brought their own payment system called UTAS. UTAS was to be way better than IPs. Why didn't let them say
switch to that?
Because look, your lecturers and scholars in the country, they are there to provide solution to government needs. So if they have something, what does it take to simply replace it? If you go and join federal service today, before you enroll on IPC, it may take up to the end of 2 years. I'm telling the truth. Federal service don't know how much they earn per month, so you don't know. Oh, it's another matter. They will on your letter when they say you are going to earn maybe 100,000 in a month. So it could be 80, it could be. I don't even know how they do that thing. It's not necessary.
All right, let's maybe just before we move on to the last daily for today, Cyril, you're from the South region, so you should understand this better. Development Commission without development. Just a couple of days back, the federal government is insisting on creating the Southeast Development Commission and the Northwest Development Commission. Now, with your experience and understanding of what happens in the Niger Delta region, do you think that what you guys are enjoying possibly would equally the Southeast?
No, it's job for the boys. I mean, only some years ago we saw what happened with NDDC. The NDDC is unspeakably, there are some things that are just mind blowing. You know, now you look at Southeast Development Commission, the governors are there, the president is there, there are local government areas, they are not enough. You want to create a development commission that will do what? You are in the Northwest. The Northwest has 7 states. All of us have 6. Southeast has 5. Northwest has 7 states. We're hoping that the governors will be, but they've not done it. So you are creating a commission for them again. What would that now? What would that now do? What is the new manifesto that they're going to work with that is not already in the constitution? That you are just creating job for them. But in the end, now corruption you go see. In the NDDC, they brought an ad hoc management to probe the people that they say are stealing money. And that ad hoc committee spent 400 million on media activities in 2 or 3 months. 400 million on media alone. It's like we see with everything.
And that was when the Senate president was chair, I guess.
Yeah,
he was in charge.
Off
the mic Sega.
How did it happen that people that were brought in to probe another people now spend 400 million on media alone? Which media are you media in? You see, even if I have, for the record, if I become president of Nigeria, I will scrap these commissions. Northeast, Southeast, Northwest, whatever you want to call them. They, even in my own region, we will choose between a ministry and a commission. Because of the reason we have the NDBC is simple and obvious, right? Nigeria isn't agreeing to practice derivation. So we are not getting as much as we should get. Now, if you want to intervene, before NDBC there was OMPADEC, okay? It will be a proposed vehicle for meeting something. Of course, if you look at the region, for example, our topography or the ecology is different. There are places that you can't even access if there's no speedboat or something. So if you want to create bridges, government can take that burden off of itself by having a commission that takes from those specialized implementation. So if you want to, if they say they want to have their own development commission anywhere in the country, you use your own agriculture or whatever bitumen you have will be. So it is derivation money you use to do your own work. If you can agree on that, it's fine. Let them know that. But commission is not what we need today. What we need today is a government that is serious about. The minister of what is it called? Works was talking about
the roads. That is.
Look, roads, you know bad. You know the same thing you're going to do. Why are you awarding contracts? To who? To who? Get companies and give them tax holiday. Let them go and do these things. Give them your specifications. Let our engineers go and supervise it. In 6 months, all the roads in Nigeria will be fixed. But they won't do it. So having more commissions are not they are there to take money. Check now, next year the budget will increase because you have to give them money and you borrow money and now give to them. Is it what we need? We don't need it. Create an enabling environment in the north, like what they told the president yesterday. Let people be able to go to their farms. See, the thing is this. It is one thing to give people something in their hands and not to empower them to get it for themselves. The latter is better.
All right, the latter is better. In 60 seconds, Cyril Abaku, Daily Trust, the newspaper, we have this story. Apart from the headline news, I engaged in protests, but without violence. That's coming from Tinubu. But there's this one on the creative industry. Muslim groups want film using hijab in armed robbery scene banned. And if you maybe went through that particular social media, viral post, Nancy Nsime, one of Nigeria's best Nollywood actor, actually was the one on that particular scene. And of course, the Muslim groups are calling for the film to be banned. Do you think that's good enough for our creative industry?
Here's what I'm going to say. Nigeria may ban the movie, but it won't stop circulating. The other time we had that issue with the use of Eyo, the Eyo masquerade, in a violent gangs of Lagos. I think so. Then they used Eyo masquerade to portray someone who was shooting, went to commit assassination and murders, and the Yoruba tradition were not happy at all with that with the portrayal. But we see these things in Hollywood, globally. When it comes to artistic expression, it breaks barriers. Now, that movie is not a government project that the citizens must watch or citizens must what's it called? It's a private. You can choose to so you can actually choose not to watch, choose not to patronize it. The distribution, if it's on Netflix and all these places, is private.
Yeah, you can choose.
Yes, I mean, who likes pornography? Please take it away. But people subscribe and go and watch if they want to watch. So if the movie is, it's a private person's production. If it's offensive, just let it be and look away. Perhaps our country hasn't matured to the point where we are as much tolerant of about artistic expression, like I said, that really is a matter of the imagination and things that people
no, this is
because when you come into the literary or cinematic space, you have to see what you normally can't see in real life, and it is intended merely for entertainment, if you like. So that's what I can say.
Now, at this point where this is not the first time such has happened, we saw the situation when Falz actually did a song, did a song, and there are some things he portrayed in it, and they had to now start speaking out against it. Now, if Nigerian creatives are not allowed to, their giftings to give expression, at this point, how do we see that? Because the entertainment industry is becoming one. No, it's one that is huge, and it's one thing that has actually kept Nigeria in the global space. Now, at this point where they are beginning to want to stiffen the creativity with some laws and rules, or trying to bring religion into it, how do you see it affecting the young ones?
So let me say this again. Nigeria still has this problem of what we sometimes call fault lines, national question, north-south divide. Yes, if it went enough, I'm not sure you'll be on air like this with your hair open, for example. So we've socialized in different ways, and we have to understand that. Okay, we've seen secular musicians, like when this man did Father, hey, what's his name?
Flavor.
It's not Flavor. What's his name? Was Flavor on that song? That slim, light skin is bedded. Father, is Chineke and Emekwezo, and I don't know.
Flavor was there.
It was Flavor, but the other guy, there was a scene where he was going to do confession.
Yeah.
Fino.
Yeah.
Fino.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a Catholic may feel, why bring what is religiously, whatever.
Or even when Ashake, portrayed all that
that one, they came for him. Obviously, not because they normally would have, but because the other side, maybe they feel like if now we don't go talk, so okay. We'll not come to that point. But like I said, if we can, I mean, it's private and if it's open, but it is because there's a reality check that we must also do, because it's the way things are. So the filmmakers, if the son want to test the water, let me say this: it is this kind of things they used to widen the margin sometimes. If we talk, and it passes, another person want to do so. Until the margin continues to broaden until artistry and arts, whatever. But we've gone past that when government can ban a film.
It's a universal village, and of course, in the United States, we've seen Hollywood films, White House Down, Vantage Point, all portraying the United States government and the White House on a bad light. And of course, they're not saying anything about that. And I think there should be no reason for us to equally do the same.
True. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Cyril Obako, for being part of our show today. We truly do appreciate your time. But when we return, mass meetings in Abuja to ward off mass protest scheduled for August 1st across Nigeria. That in a bit, please don't go anywhere.